Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our chair, Commissar Marshal Damini, our CIC, Julius Malema. This afternoon, I represent the mothers of Phoenix. Okay, this afternoon, as mothers, we face a challenge. I'm sure if Mama Winnie was here tonight, she will resonate with what I have to say. The mothers bear the biggest brunt of what is happening at the moment. We have a water crisis, a situation that affects us in a really bad way. Firstly, our mothers need to carry that water, and we have no water tankers, we have no JoJo tanks, we have basically water cuts every single day. And when we try to call the DA, I think it's much easier to get in touch with the SG and with Mongezi Twala of the EFF than trying to get in touch with the DA ward councillor. They either block you or they just don't take your calls. And as the mothers of Phoenix, we are saying the hope that we have in the EFF is that we will see change take place. The other problem that we're facing is that mothers are being evicted on a daily basis by a person who owns so much of land in Phoenix. And the cry is, the people of Phoenix need their title deeds. And I'm sure everyone in this room are going to say that we need it immediately. And we know that the EFF believes in land, and today we believe that as the people of Phoenix, we will get our Commander-in-Chief to actually commit to giving us that tonight. Another point is that our clinics and our hospitals in Phoenix are in such a terrible state at the moment. Mothers enter the clinics and the hospitals at 4 a.m. and they leave at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. This is totally unacceptable. We have a shortage of doctors. We have a shortage of nurses. The Labor Department is a whole different story on its own. So I think as the community of Phoenix tonight, we are asking the EFF to please step in and take over from what the DA has actually done in Phoenix. We want the EFF to basically help the people of Phoenix. So thank you.
Number two.
Soqala sanibonani bawethu. Hello, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Awudumelanga ba. Yazi ngijabulile zobona lapho. Yazini ama-ANC bangikhohla ngathi. They forgot about us, ANC. Siyadinga wena mfethu. Uzohlambe yenze something so bakhona lapho. Bangikhohla ngathi. Yabo lento. We welcome you to Phoenix, Baba. And please don't make this the last time you come here. Please hear our people. It's been a while since a leader of election party has come here, but we appreciate you for coming. And please, don't forget about us. People are suffering in Phoenix. Thank you for coming and hearing us.
Thank you. Yes, shoot.
Good evening, everybody. Greetings to SG, our president, Mongezi, and Kalipi. The ANC has failed us. The ANC have given land to one person to build so much of flats in Phoenix. The ANC did that. It wasn't any other party but the ANC. The rent what they're collecting for the month is about 7 million rand. This one person owns so much of land. We have corrupted polices in the police stations. Our schools are not being attended to. There's water shortages. There's no lights at certain time. And I know our CIC will do it for us. our CIC will do it for us.
Thank you. Number 4.
Okay. Comrade, Comrade Marshall, Comrade CIC, Comrade Mkhalipa, Comrade Mongezi. We are African, natives African who stay here in Phoenix. But there is an elephant, Commissar CIC, that we need to take it out first, and then we start talking. The elephant in the room first is the 2021 massacre in Phoenix. We need to talk about that. We cannot deny that the massacre happened in Phoenix. But what we will deny is that our Indian comrade should be generalized as if all Indian in Phoenix killed us. That is the generalization that we as Native African won't allow to be made here in Phoenix. Maybe when the CIC gets a chance, he probably, on the behalf of EFF, to render an apology on that. And we'll appreciate it. Now, the second thing, Commissar, which I wish, in particular, Comrade Mongezi, because you are here, Commissar, you are here in KwaZulu Natal. Commissar CIC, eThekwini municipality is rotten to the core. We know now we are not only voting for a municipality, but we're voting for a general election. But the eThekwini municipality is rotten to the core. This is what they did. eThekwini municipality took land, which was a state land, which was a recreational ground for our kids to play and our grandchildren to play, and sold it to what the comrade was saying, to an individual on a mere cheap price. On top of that, a state land was then sectional deed given to this person to force people to pay a rent of about 5,000 to 6,000. This rent, Commissar CIC, is even paid by pensioners. There are people who will see here if you can walk about. The people who are here are poor people of Phoenix who are coming to you to say, don't give them empty promises. Give them the land. I have went through the manifesto, and I appreciate section 5 to section 9 of your manifesto in terms of land. I appreciate section 18 of your manifesto in terms of section of human settlement. Comrade, we are being embarrassed in front of our kids, our wives, and our mothers. They bring these guys who are so tough with in the blessing of the ANC, in the blessing of the DA, in the blessing of the minority front who claim to represent the Indian community. But the same people who are evicting in our houses are supported by the minority front. So there's not much I could say. CIC, give us our land. Give us our title deed. We want them. We can no longer suffer under these capitalists. Capitalism has no color, comrade. It has no color. I could be black right now, our very own comrade. I don't even want to mention the name. I went to them. I told them, how do you sell a land to these people? How do you make people suffer like this? They say, comrade, they are too powerful. Viva EFF, viva!
Welcome CIC, welcome SG, welcome Commissar Khalipi, welcome Commissar Mongezi Twala. We really appreciate your visit in Phoenix. There's two things that I want to highlight, which the speakers before me have not touched. I am Urban Governor. I represent Phoenix Tenants and Residents Association. It's a civic body, and we are also part of Abashlali Basam Junrolo. The President had proclaimed Regulation 9 of the Local Government Act in terms of the SRU proclamation with regard to land in Phoenix. And we had sat with the SRU, and the report has been released to the MM in eThekwini. The report is now sitting with President Ramaphosa, and he refuses to release that report. We have done a promotion of access to information, and the 30 days has lapsed. It's obviously, it's elections. He does not want to release that report because it's a damning report. It finds that environmental issues were actually degraded in terms of wetlands in Phoenix. Land has been actually stolen at 3 cents a square meter. And it was actually Woodley's Trading that won the tender. And what they've done is they've collected rentals. According to the council agreement, each unit was supposed to go for 129,000 under the FLIS subsidy. What they did was they took away the agreement. They reneged on the agreement. They brought in title deeds, and they're evicting people that are indigent, people, single mothers that are heading households, child-headed households where they've lost parents, elderly people, etc., which is contrary to the Constitution. The other issue is that there was a resolution, a council resolution, and it spoke to the release of these land to sectionalize and give us ownership. The ANC-led municipality, as they don't have the political will to ensure that we get our sectional title deeds. So the issue is, we want this, on the next term in Parliament, we want this issue of releasing the SRU report with regard to Phoenix. The report has to be released. The very same time that the SRU report on Phoenix came out, it was the Babita Dewcurrent, the Digital Vibes report. Now, does this government want us to die before that report is released? The second issue is there has to be political will from the ANC together with us, because we sit as a coalition in eThekwini. We have to drive that agenda because 129,000 people have already paid for these units. Am I right, guys? Yes. Everybody has paid for these units. The other issue is, what's the caveat and the cherry on the top? They've collected rentals in the tune of 4 to 500,000, right? They've collected 105,000 rand subsidy from Shra. Shra is another fronting company for the ANC that are robbing and denying our people of access to land and housing in this country. They have looted Shra the very same way as they looted ESCOM, SAA, and all these other SOEs. But I will provide a detailed dossier to the CIC before he returns. But these are the burning issues in Phoenix. I thank you very much. Thank you.
Let us take a second round of hands. Oh, okay. All right.
I'm Mr. Malema. I'm from Chatsworth. The DA and the ANC, they refused to help me for the RDP house because I joined the EFF.
No, please proceed. Proceed. Oh, sorry.
So I need help because I'm disabled, which I'm not mobilized. And I live in Welbedat. And the DA is no longer doing anything. We got people living there. They need help. Thank you.
I'll take a second round of hands. 5 hands, please. Please, by show of hands. By show of hands, please. 5 hands. Then we give it. We give our TSG to introduce our Secretary General. Yes, brother. Number 1. Number 2. Have you raised your hand? Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Who's number 5? Who's number 5? Okay. Thanks. Can proceed.
Greetings to everyone. I was listening to the people that spoke before me. Nobody touched job problems. We're living in Ward 48, which is one of the richest wards. And we're also facing that jobless problems. We are jobless but living in a rich ward, which makes me, it hurts me because I'm living long in this place, and I know what we have. We got hospitals, we got izinto ezihlukahlukene amazomsebenzi la. Kodwa if you abheka, most of the people abasebenza la kuwo wonke lamalokhuza la abantu bangaphandle. At least mhlawumbe kuthiwa 10% wale msebenzi legcwele la kwa 48 ama citizens akhona la bese ngajabula, but most of the people uthi uyabona sebeqashiwe bonke abantu kuvulwa la sebephelela abantu kuvulwa la sebephelela abantu. Thina ama citizens award 48 even kuthiwa the to call mhlambe overtime sihlala khona la areaeni bese ngakwazi ukuthi sibamba asebenzi thina sibona abantu bangaphandle ngaze kuthiwa sinomona mangabe sesithi sivimba imigwaqo senza yonke lento le. Ingiphatha kabi lento le, angikho muhle ekhulumeni, kodwa nje iyona into ebengifuna ukuthi ngiphawule ngayo ukuthi le wadi lena i-rich kakhulu ukuthi sangasebenza kangaka kule ndawo. Cela niyibhekisise lo ndaba.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Okay. I'm happy to see President Julius Malema today. Yes, I've got a problem. I'm staying in Phoenix. So I'm Nelly. My name is Nelly. I'm staying behind the garage, Puma garage. I'm 24 years and stay there. But no water, no lights. Every time I vote, but I went to see all the councillors, MOSA, IFP, DA, but never helped me. I got the two children. If I need the water, I go to some other people there in Clayfield to ask the the children to bath. Now I got a light because I pay 8,000 to put the lights in my house, but every year I vote. Now I need the help. If I got a lot of people there. It's maybe 15 houses, but no lights, no water. It's a shack behind the Puma garage. But thanks.
Let's speak to the mic, on the mic.
Sawona zonke, sawona baba, sawona comrades. Baba, me, I'm living here for 40 years. Now, because of lights and water, I'm unemployed. Now I'm living in Polar Park, in the shack. In Polar Park, in the shack, because of no lights, water, and I can't afford it. I'm now living in the shack in Polar Park, where my house was took away, everything. I'm living with a bandu gatin. Yebo. That's why I'm coming here to ask for help. I don't need the DA, I don't need ANC. You are here to help us, please. Please. I'm living over there in Polar Park. I'm one Indian with all the Muntus, but they never degrade me. They always help me. If I'm Lambile, they give me something. Yeah, bo. If I'm Lambile, they see the mina. Yeah, bo. That's why I come by you, front of you, Baba. See the Tina. Yeah, boanga Jesu. Amen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, EFF. Firstly, I want to say, initially, I'm from the Golden Green Gardens complex. Initially, when we took our houses, they said rent to own, rent to own. 12 years later, I'm still renting. Where's the owning? They made more than enough money from us. We need to now at least rent. I know EFF is for land and jobs. This is our land. Give it to us, please. Come on, people. Also, we're only allowed to buy electricity from Woodlays. We cannot buy from the garage. We cannot buy from our our phones, and they're making money, profit on the water, they're making profit on the lights as well. If we don't pay our rent, we can't buy lights, we can't buy water. That is how they caught us. They stop everything. Help us. Give us our land.
Thank you. Without any waste of time, let me welcome on stage our elections convener, Commissar Hlengiwe Mkhalipi, to come and introduce our Secretary General. Thank you very much. Commissar Mkhalipi.
Amandla. Amandla. Awethu. Thank you very much, Provincial Chair. Thank you very much, Phoenix and Chatsworth residents. My job or my task is very small. I'm here to introduce the Secretary General. In the EFF, we have President, then we have Deputy President, then we have Secretary General, which is Commissar Marshal Dlamini. Then we have a Deputy Secretary General, DSG in short. Then we have a National Chairperson. Then we have Treasurer General. So today we are here with Secretary General, who is going to introduce our Commander-in-Chief, President Julius Malema, SG.
Amandla, Amandla, Amandla. Viva EFF, viva! Viva EFF, viva! Forward EFF, forward! Forward EFF, forward! Down DA, down! Down DA, down! Down ANC, down! Down thieves ANC, down! Down criminals DA, down! Down thieves ANC, down! Amandla! Thank you very much, Commissar Mkhalipi. I'm going to thank you, the community of Phoenix, for welcoming us here in your own community. We came here with the president. As the EFF, that's why the president said, SG, I want to listen to people of Phoenix, because he's that kind of a president. It's not like these other politicians who come and tell you what are your problems when he doesn't stay here. That's why he came to listen. Now that he has heard you, he's our #1 president, and you have seen him, he's fearless. He's not scared of anything, of anyone, as long as the fight is for our own people. So I want to bring the president on stage to say, President and Commander-in-Chief, you've heard our fellow brothers and sisters. You've heard our mothers. They've poured their issues in you. Please come take the podium, Commander-in-Chief, and address our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Amandla. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Viva EFF, viva. Down with DA, down. Down with ANC, down. Thank you very much. Comrade Secretary General, former DSG, Provincial Chairperson, and all leaders of the EFF who are here, the community of Phoenix and Chatsworth. We are here to listen to our cries and see how best we can help to improve the conditions of our people. We have listened to the issues of water crisis and that there are no reliable water tanks or JoJo tanks that are being supplied, and there is also daily cutting, what we call water shedding now, which is being experienced by our people. Those are the matters when we're still in the Executive Council we're trying to deal with through our chairperson. And I had the chairperson of the leader of the Residents Association saying we're in a coalition with the ANC. We're not in a coalition with the ANC, and our guy is no longer even the MMC. So what we're dealing with was to fight this issue of water, because we always knew that it's a big problem in our communities and it needs to be attended to. But even when we're not in government or executive with these people, we have councillors who are there who now have to take up this matter very seriously, because we cannot have areas where they cut water and they don't provide an alternative. Clinics, in the EFF, we advocate for 24/7 clinics, where clinics open for 24 hours, 7 days a week, with an ambulance, with doctors and nurses, and medication. And it must have the latest sophisticated medical equipment. Many of our clinics in South Africa, they close at 4 o'clock. And if you are lucky to go at 4 a.m. and you get attended to, when you have an eye problem, they give you Panado. When you have a knee problem, they give you Panado. When you have a running stomach, Panado, which is a sign that there is no even medication. And how is it a hospital or a clinic without medication? Without health practitioners. We've got a lot of people who are trained as field workers, health field workers, who are not integrated, never looked after, and they've got a potential to provide primary health care. Today we are told that there are doctors who are unemployed. How can a doctor be unemployed when we don't have doctors? We need doctors. Doctors are in demand, yet government is not employing them. You go to school for 7 years, and after finishing school at 7 years, you must still go and toy to be hired as a doctor. So we need to restore the integrity of that profession by ensuring that those who go to school to study medicine, they are already linked to particular communities. Because when they go to do practicals, they must go and do that practical community service in that clinic, so that when they graduate, they know there is already placement for them. That's how you need to deal with medication. So doctors will never be enough. If it means each house must have its own doctor, let it be so. Because health is everything, and primary health is very important. So when clinics have collapsed, our people die from curable diseases. A mother walks into a clinic at 4 a.m., she gets some irritation, she's got an irritation on her breast. She decides, let me go to a clinic at 4 a.m. At 2, 3 o'clock, they tell them the queue cuts here. She doesn't go, come back tomorrow. Tomorrow she's not in the mood to go because she's like, but it's not a big problem, let me leave it. Kanti, that is a breast cancer, which could have been detected early, and then they cure it. Now that she did not get attention and she left it, by the time it becomes a big problem, then it's too late. She's going to die because of avoidable, curable disease which we could have detected early. So primary health care, when you talk clinics, are supposed to be level of primary health care where we prevent, where we do early detection, where we also educate our people on how to avoid diseases. But because of being driven by profit making in South Africa, they don't give you primary health care so that you can become seriously sick and you get admitted into their hospitals and they milk you. So that's why they say a cured patient is a lost customer. So they never want to cure you. They want to keep you there as a customer because to them, you are making money for them. So we want a one health system which is equipped. When you say nationalize the health system, all the private hospitals, everything must be owned by the government, and we put all the resources into that health system. They say no, because a nationalized one-tier health system will mean that if your clinic does not function well, you are going to go to a private clinic, the so-called private clinic with equipment, and we are going to overpopulate it. When we overpopulate it, is because we are overpopulating their space. They are going to buy equipment for our clinics so that they can remove us from them to our clinics. Our clinics will never be empowered, equipped, because they don't care about those clinics. They don't go there. But the day we say we are all one, we can go anywhere we want, they are going to say, the only way to keep them away, we must make that clinic functional so that they don't come to us. But as long as they are on their own, without anyone disturbing them, they will never equip our health system. Health must not be part of making profit. Health is like education. They are not about profit making. When we grew up, this thing of private, we grew up in Polokwane. The first private hospital came very late. Everything was public hospitals. So it's not like when you say you are asking for only public hospitals, you are asking for something that was never there. They were there. We were all born in Petersburg Hospital, owned by the state. So now they have got private for themselves, and the NHI, it doesn't say private is doing away with it. It says if you are poor or rich, you go to the private doctor who's registered NHI. That doctor will then bill government. So they are outsourcing their responsibility. They are now saying, no, you can go there and then we'll pay. There are going to be a lot of mushrooming, fraudulent health practices, which we are going to make abnormal claims with non-existing patients, because now government is paying. And it is them who are going to benefit from that corruption. That's why they can't close private hospitals. They can't nationalize private hospitals because that's how they are going to make money. But if it was not about making money and helping the poor, you'll say, let everything be under the state. No one gets paid for anything because it's state-owned. We pay our workers and all of that. We buy the equipment ourselves. We own everything that belongs to the hospital. They say, no, we don't want to own. They don't want to build state capacity to provide education and health. Why do you have a government where there are no early childhood development? In the poor communities, most of our children start school at 7 years. The white people's children start school at 3 years. They are already knowing how to add numbers, to count, add numbers, 1 + 1. Ours are still with gogos in the township there, waiting to turn 7 years. The next thing, they don't perform good because education was introduced to them very late. So, and then we look like we are non-thinkers. When they did not capture us at an early age so that it becomes our DNA, education becomes our DNA. So, we want it to be free. We want them to give our children free uniform, free school shoes, and give them meals at school, because we are in a poverty-stricken country. So when a child doesn't eat a breakfast at school, doesn't eat lunch at school, where do they get the meal from? Because there's nothing outside. In the morning, They slept with an empty stomach. They are coming to school with an empty stomach. So you have to give them food because they will never concentrate and perform with an empty stomach. These people are buying prisoners free uniform and shoes every 6 months. If they can buy prisoners uniform, they can buy our children uniform. If they give prisoners reliable, guaranteed breakfast, lunch, supper, they can give our children. Why should children commit crime for them to see free uniform for the first time? Education, by the way, is free in prison. They've got reliable water. There is no cutting of water. They've got reliable electricity. A prisoner who was in prison for the past 10 years doesn't know load shedding. If you get arrested and you want to talk to him about load shedding, he doesn't know what you are talking about. Like, what's that? What happens? Because every prison has got a generator. They are always electrified. But we are experiencing lack of electricity every time because the electricity that was found is old. The infrastructure is so old. In other areas, the wires are falling. In other areas, the poles are falling. There's never been massive investment in development of infrastructure in the electricity. The expansion of sewer plants have not been done. There's never been massive changing of pipes of water. Because the problem they experience, water shortage, amongst other things, is that there's too much leaking of water because of asbestos pipes that are beyond their lifespan. You have to remove. You know, when you cut water for us and say, guys, we are replacing these pipes from here to there, we're going to cut. Here are the water tanks for 2 days. We will never fight with you because we know you are bringing a permanent solution into our problems. So we need a government that is courageous with political will to do those things and do good for our people. I don't understand why should a person who's being given SASA must be billed for water and electricity. This is the same government. We are the same government. This thing that eThekwini is a municipality and that one is a provincial government, it's a myth. It's just administrative demarcation on how we can manage our affairs. But we are one government. The president is one. That's why, if government gives me SASA at national level, the municipality must give me SASA at municipal level through making sure I don't pay for water and electricity. No, they wait for government to give you SASA, you are poor. They come through a back door to take the same SASA away from you. And then they are pretending like they care. But in reality, they don't care about us because the caring about us is exactly what I'm talking about. You can build houses for all disabled people of South Africa, all of them in 1 year. Why? We are in a hall now. For sure we've got 2 or 3, with so many people, 2 or 3 disabled people in this hall. That's how they are in our communities. There are not too many. Where a president just declares, this year, I want to give every disabled person a house. We can give them within a year, and we don't have a disabled person coming to beg for a house. They are struggling as things are now, and you are perpetuating their pain. That's why that comrade made that point and stopped. He was not stopping because he's shy or anything. He was being emotional about it. That why is my pain extended beyond what I thought I'll be able to manage. So a caring government, if it can care about its own disabled citizens, then we know it's obvious with us. Because if you care about those who can't do anything for you, then those who can do anything for you, you'll care about them even more. So they don't care about our disabled people, and they've lived for 30 years, without any assistance from the government. So, Commissar Marshall and Monges, we need to find that comrade a house as the EFF. It's very important. When a man comes pleading like that, you must know it comes from the bottom of his heart. He's crying for help, and we need to help. The ANC did not dump Phoenix alone. It dumped the whole of South Africa. There is no any place that the ANC is taking care of. You can go anywhere. I was in Port Alfred, one of the most beautiful towns, yesterday. What pained me was that the people there say they are no longer dumping sites. Like dumping site is a piece of land. They say they are all full. Government doesn't know what to do with the garbage. What is going to happen? People are going to dump it on the road. They are going to leave it in their yards. They are now going to start getting sick and living with the rest. Because when you say there are no dumping sites, you simply mean you've got a house without a dustbin. How can you have a house without a dustbin? Because this is the whole house. And then that's where we go dumping. Even that, the ANC can't find a dumping site. Things have become so worse. So we need to accept that our relationship with the ANC has come to an end. There is nothing we can do about it. And the DA is not about any other person except white people. And if you see what they are doing now, they are no longer going even into African areas. Every by-election we are running, the DA is not contesting. It's no longer interested because the true colors are coming out now. They are tired of pretending. So when the Phoenix massacre happened and they said Phoenix people were heroes and those who died were thugs, they were trying to divide us. That no, these ones must never be one thing. Because our unity is a threat to them. They pretend to care about us. Yes, there was a massacre, but it was not committed by Indians. It was committed by criminals who must be prosecuted. Because anyone who take out a firearm and shoot at people, that person is a criminal. The law must take its own course. We have never in the EFF characterized the Phoenix Indians as criminals, as people who committed a massacre. We knew these are isolated individuals. If you had a serious law enforcement, they could have caught them without generalizing this problem to all of us. So we know in Phoenix that those who were looting, they did so because of opportunistic reasons that were given to them. And they stood up out of poverty to say, this is an opportunity for us to go and grab something. They took advantage of our people and used them in a wrong way. And the DA then encourages us to fight amongst ourselves. The Indian community belongs to the EFF. We don't isolate, we don't discriminate the Indian communities. Our first Treasurer General was an Indian when the EFF was formed, Magdalene Monsami. And there is a comrade here who left the EFF, Buthelezi, who said, Ntantla Buthelezi, who said, we can't be led by Indians. And we said to him, if you can't accept the leadership of the Indians, you will rather go. We removed him because from its beginning, the EFF never tolerated anti-Indian sentiments. And we will never tolerate such. So, this guy who's got a land here and all of that, I'm happy the leadership of the Residents Association is articulating these issues in a very clear manner. And they said they will share information with us. We will make a follow-up. Let's get this report. Let's see how best we can assist. Because we cannot have our land sold to people in a corrupt manner. And we are converted into tenants in our own land. We are not tenants. This is our land. It belongs to us. So, eThekwini municipality, government had no duty, none whatsoever, to sell our land. So the SIU report, I also didn't know about it. If the days have lapsed where we followed the access to information processes and the guy still hasn't complied, there is a recourse to that. So we need to look at in the law. If we say provide this through disclosure of information and you refuse as the president, what are the consequences for that? So we might need to go to court to get this report released so that we expose the corruption of the ANC through this report. So we must never get tired of demanding the release of that report. And that's what our leadership should write down and follow up and give it to the lawyers to pay a closer attention. The good thing with lawyers is that when you told them, this is the matter, follow it up, they diarize it. They always open a diary. They're like, there's this matter, this is a due date, they've not responded, this is our next move. So, unlike us, we only remember it when we see you. But we need to give this matter to professionals and say to them, you are going to get this report. The SIU reports are public reports. He has to sign them and release them to the public. So there is no one, there is no powerful family. Whether he's got money, he doesn't have money, and then whether he goes around saying he's powerful, that's why he can buy the land and all of that, you will realize that there's actually no one who's powerful than the state. There's no person who can move around saying I'm powerful, I've got connections and all. That is going to come to an end. It will end in tears. It will end in tears. No one must arrogantly deal with our people in the name of ANC protection. We're not going to allow that. We are going to make sure that even this powerful person, I don't know why you are not saying his name. You should have told me his name. I was going to say it here. Even if... Yeah, Marvin. We need to find this Marvin. Huh? What? Jason. The owner of the land, the one who bought the land. Is Jason. Yeah, okay. Huh? Jason. Oh, Jason. They say it's Jason, but the Jason died and the son took over. Yes. So we will follow it up. Now we have a name. We know what we're dealing with. Let's go and make sure that these families are held accountable. We need, yes, they said rent to own. We need to go and check What was the agreement? And when was this thing of renting ending? So that we begin a process of transfer. Because the properties must be transferred into those who rented for such a long time. And today, they still don't own the properties. I know very well that kind of scheme, SG, where you rent from properties of the municipality or the state. And after a particular period of time, they hand them over to individuals. So we need, I've seen it happen, it means it can happen even here. If that was the understanding, we need to do it. We need to give our people options. There can't be where there is just a gated community or a wall where people are told you buy water from me. That is thuggerism. That is not be allowed. Water and electricity must be provided by the state. Those are the things that you don't play with. Because that is life. What now an individual just feels like, is not paying me close the electricity. That time there is an indigent person in that family who's entitled to certain liters of water per month. Even when they've not paid, they close it because they can, and no one can do anything about that. We need to make sure that there are no such estates or arrangements that are made where our people are paying water to an individual who has nothing to do with indigent policies of government, who doesn't know that this person qualifies for free water, and they cut their water. So we have to follow up that matter, and we have received it very well. The issue of jobs, really, you are right. And the EFF what, where you come from, doesn't even have to come. You said what 48 doesn't have to come to us. The EFF what 48 must just stand up and go to those people in the factories where your what is found, where those job opportunities are, and tell them, we are the youth, we are the people from here. We can see people are working here, but none of these people come from us. They've got a duty to employ locals. They have a duty to employ locals. So if you are not committing any crime, when a project comes of a municipality, we normally appoint what we call CLO, who's going to liaise between the community and the service providers. That is with regard to government. Why is there no CLO for private companies, where the company has got a person who liaises with the immediate community? Because we need to benefit from local economic opportunities. Where I come from, I tell them, once you see some development, you don't know about it, you have to go and ask, what is this? And how do we benefit from this? So the local EFF, not even Monges, not even the region, the branch must do that. And the day you do that, that's the day those people are going to start respecting you. When there are opportunities, they are going to call you and say, hey man, we are looking for 10 people and all of that. Please, can you help us to find from a local community? People take advantage of those who don't stand up for their rights. They just violate you. They just undermine you. But the day you stand up and say, but you can't do that, that's the day they are going to start respecting you. So we really are saying to our youth, there are no jobs necessarily, but whatever jobs that are there, the EFF has a duty to make sure it fights for our people to get jobs, not only jobs. When they are employed there, they must have rights. They must have their benefits. They must have job security. That's why we are fighting that security guards must be insourced in government. Those who are working in government buildings, those who are working in government facilities. Comrades, people work at a municipal office as a security guard for 30 years. When he goes on retirement, there's no pension. Because private companies were exchanging hands. Every 3 years, there is a new company. Every 3 years, there is a new company. And then after 30 years, the other company says, you are too old, we can't continue with you. You say your father was useless, he was not saving money. It's not true. He was exploited. We insourced the workers in Johannesburg municipality, the security guards. And we were paying a company 15,000. And then the company was paying them 3,500. We removed companies and hired these people. We are now paying them 17,500 with medical aid. They've got medical aid. They now have pension fund. They now have leave days. They can go on leave. The reason you see these securities reporting to work at 6, 9 o'clock, they are already sleeping, is because they never rest. If he decides to go on leave, when he comes back, someone has replaced him. There's no job security. So we have insourced them in Vets University, the cleaners at Vets. A lecturer is a worker. A cleaner is a worker. They must have workers' rights, both of them. What was even worse at Vets is that lecturers are paid more money than cleaners. On top of the more money they are paid, they were even allowed to bring their children to study at Vets for free as part of benefits. This one who's poor, who earns way less than a lecturer, if a child must come to that university, must pay. After we insourced them, which is what we want to do with all the universities, after we insourced them, those children of those cleaners now can go to Vets University free of charge as benefits of insourcing their mothers. Every time I go to speak at Vets, you must see how those elderly women run to me. They can't stop thanking us for what we have done in their lifetime. So we want to do this to all our people who are suffering, because we must make sure that indeed we defeat poverty. You can only defeat poverty when you pay people very well, when you look after your workers, when the state of happiness in South Africa is high. We will never defeat depression and this sadness that we see every day if we don't empower our communities through infrastructural development. So the EFF is that kind of government, and which will make sure that our people in Polar Park, in the shacks, everywhere else, we are part of them. They have endorsed the EFF, and we're going to make sure that when we take over, we don't forget that our Jondolo have endorsed us and said, we want you to come and build us houses and take us out of the shacks and give us a piece of land which we can call home. That's what we must never forget. So I'm happy that I came here today, and I'm happy that I've listened to the issues that you have raised. I leave here today as a better person. On the 29th of May, you must do the right thing. And those who drink alcohol, don't drink on the 29th. On the 29th, we want a sober decision. You must go there sober so that you make a sober decision. There are 3 ballot papers. 1, you vote EFF. 2, you vote EFF. 3, you vote EFF. Comrades, we will never have peace in the world if there's no peace in the Middle East. We need to fight for the people of Palestine. They are fighting for their land. The DA is supported by the people who support the apartheid Israel. And they want to suppress and kill and wipe off a nation in front of us. We cannot allow that to happen. We know what land occupation means. The people of Chatsworth, they know what it means to be removed from your own land. And that's why we can easily sympathize with the people of Palestine. Only the EFF went to Parliament and said, let's remove the embassy of Israel from South Africa. And Parliament agreed with the EFF. The problem is this big nose who's supposed to implement this decision. He doesn't implement it. Because we are done. We did our job. We said Woolworth must not buy anything from Israel. If they've got anything from Israel, they must remove it from their shelves. They said no, there was a small product left. We said we don't care small or big, remove. As long as it's from Israel. McDonald's wrote a letter and distanced itself from the McDonald's of Israel and said, we are not part of that. So only they wrote a letter to the EFF. We said, anyone with a product of Israel, remove, otherwise we are coming to remove it ourselves. They wrote letters reaffirming that indeed we had you and will never have anything to do with Israel. Only the EFF took those practical steps. What does the ANC do? They go to International Court of Justice to pretend like they are doing something. Because they know legal processes take long. So they buy your face by going the long route. If they really cared, they should implement that decision, which was agreed to by more than 2/3 majority in the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. So if the president can't listen to Parliament, who does he listen to? There is no Mandela or who Mandela we're going to vote for. Mandela is no more. People must leave Mandela alone and allow Mandela to rest in peace. He has done his job. He's done. We have thanked him for that. Don't say no, the ANC of Mandela. No, it's an ANC of a criminal called Cyril Ramaphosa. Mandela never stole money and put money in the sofas and in the mattresses. So there's nothing Mandela about this criminal. How does a president sleep on top of dollars when people of Polar Park go to sleep with empty stomach? How do you sleep at night knowing you've got so much money, but you're not sharing it with your struggling people? And who hides money in the sofas? Because we all hide money in the bedrooms. By the time you go to the sofas, it means the bedrooms are too full. There is no more space. That's why you went to the sofas. So we want to go to Parliament to hold this criminal accountable. So please, let's make sure we do the right thing on the 29th of May. I always tell our people, we thought Freedom Day was 27 April 1994. But the real Freedom Day is 29 May 2024. That's where our people are going to be liberated from poverty. Thank you very much, and I'm happy I came to see you. And the problem is that I'm now going to Newcastle. And from Newcastle, I'm going to Maritzburg. From there, I'm going to Cape Town. So the reason why I can't stay long is because I must rush. So I arrive on time and then rest a bit and then attend to other communities tomorrow. But I'm happy I came to Phoenix, and the people of Phoenix came out in their numbers to say we are with the EFF. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are not done. You can't leave. Please, you can't leave until the president walks out. I think Mervyn, President, some gift there for you. You can come on stage. Naomi, please come on stage. These are the comrades President, who are in the forefront here in Phoenix. Also, Mark, please come. These comrades are they are in the forefront of ensuring that we dispel the misconception that EFF is not for Indian people. We are for everyone. We love everyone in South Africa. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I take a group photo. Oh, come, Mevin, let's take a group photo with the president. These guys have, they are very strong, and they are the ones who are confronting those who are evicting you on daily basis.